Such a good intro. I love it. I really do. Never gets tired on me. I just love listening to that. Well, nice. Hello everyone. How are we all doing?
Got a cough.
He's gone.
Jordan's got the Rona.
Yeah, it's back.
That's it. In China is doing bits.
Is it?
Yeah, it's always be doing bits.
They had this has changed. They had one death, so now it's like flocking
everything.
Down.
Oh God, fuck's sake.
Just the way it is.
2.0.
Yeah, that's it. Here it comes again.
Wouldn't surprise me if with the way inflation and stuff is at the minute, they probably need a nice little lockdown to sort stuff out.
However, it would not affect this pod in the slightest now.
Look at that.
They're lockdown proof.
Yeah,
we could actually just do more. We could do one a day. We could call it the lockdown pod.
Yeah.
The LEDs are on.
Look at the lights.
Yeah, the lava lamp.
I need my background. I need to sort it out. I need black.
You got the plant. I like the plant.
Yeah, those bits all right. It's just the tin.
Is that a snowboard behind you or a skateboard? Or a
snowboard. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. And then
a bit of Walter White.
Oh no,
and a bin.
It's functional.
Designer bin. I basically my bin gets hidden behind my snowboard.
Nice.
It hasn't been out in a while, probably a couple of years. I need to. I'm dying to get it out, but we'll see. Try and persuade the missus and kids to do a little holiday.
Nice
little trip. Never been snowboarding or skiing.
Mate, it's so good.
Yeah, me neither. Everyone always says you have to go.
Yeah, I will do it one day. I just know when I do, it will be absolutely horrific.
Every time. I hear two things from skiing holidays. One, it's absolutely incredible. You have to do it. And two, someone always breaks their ankle. Is that those two things? Yeah,
you do get quite a lot of injuries. The first 2 days of snowboarding, you're just on your ass and covered in bruises. So if anyone ever is going on a holiday, do a couple of lessons and just do a couple of days somewhere where you can get battered and then it makes it a lot more enjoyable to navigate around, because after a couple of days and you got your feet, you're all right, and you still come off it a bit, but it's those first couple of days are horrendous.
Yeah. We've got a dry slope in Norwich.
Oh
maybe give it a go, but he wants to go down in a rubber dinghy. So
I've done that, definitely done that, but I just didn't do the snowboard or the skiing.
There's a couple of good indoor places in the UK to get your practice in anyway, to at least get your. I'd definitely say, if you're gonna think about doing it, do a couple of days on there, or Scotland, but it's expensive. Scotland's it's as dear as Europe.
Is it?
Probably not now with the way the euro's going and the pound.
Yeah,
but having more up north was really expensive. Yeah, it cost a fortune.
I've never even heard of skiing in Scotland, but I guess
really good skiing. Like I say, it's not Europe, but it's obviously, it's the best in the UK. But I mean, it's a bit icy. I've been there a few times. I've been there about 3 or 4 times, but it's good. Nice. Considering it's in the UK, you can get a flight up to Inverness. It's not too far from there.
Yeah,
nice. I'll definitely have to do it someday. Everyone that's been is always you have to go.
It is amazing. It is a quality holiday.
Yeah.
Right. Well, before we go any further, just want to remind people next week is the 100th episode. So
it is.
Get your favourite moments.
Oh, look at that.
That's it. The banner's there.
Nice.
It's scrolling across the screen. If you want to be part of our 100th episode, get your favourite parts of any episode, or even you could do. I've done one of mine from one of the midweekers we did, so it doesn't have to be just exclusive to pods. You can send that via our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All the stuff is in the description if you want to send that to us. So get them in, because that'll be a good episode just to get your favourite moments. Film yourself, tell us what they are. We've got a few submissions in already, which will be good. And obviously we'll have all our 3 favourite moments as well. So get that in. But today's episode, I thought, Jordan suggested it last night, actually, because we were going to do a different episode. But I kind of like the idea. prison stories.
Yes.
I thought last time we did prison related stuff, it was when Mike, was it his name Mike?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Yeah. And that was a really good episode. Obviously, him being a former prison guard really helped elevate some of the stuff he had to say and put weight behind it as well.
Mhm.
So I thought I've got some prison stories. Jordan's found a kind of a timeline. Would you call it?
Yeah. I guess you Google this if you're going to prison for the first time. And I was reading it earlier, and I have to say, I don't know. Maybe it's just my just like fear of ever having to go to prison. But reading it was very anxiety inducing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll read through that just because it's very, I think we discussed in when we had Mike on. It's just fortunately an alien world, so it's just so interesting, but also like I feel like prison has its own economy, prison has its own politics, prison has its own rules, and it's just crazy because to me, and I know this is so naive and so fucking stupid and so it just would never happen, but if everyone just got along, prison wouldn't be that bad. But because they don't, it's awful. But but the fact of the matter is, if everyone just decided, right, we're just going to get on,
Yeah.
you're just on a fucking all-inclusive, really.
Exclusive, love it.
Careful how I word this, but the bad thing about a prison is that by nature of it being a prison and the people that have gone in there, not everyone, because but that you get in. There's a bunch of people in there that just that aren't they're not good.
No, absolutely.
There's going to be a hand. Not everyone, because again, don't want to tarnish everyone with the same brush, but there are some people in there like that are just wrong uns.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's a lot of people that aren't but then that you just, even if you're good and you go in and you make a mistake or whatever and you go in there, there are these other people who are there that and you're locked in with them, aren't you? That's the trouble.
Yeah,
it's not like in normal life, like you can, if you know where there's a bunch of bad people, whatever, you can avoid them and stay out of their way. But in prison, like, unfortunately, even if you're like top tier and you're good and you just, you've done something like low level and you've gone in there, like there are some people that have done some real bad things in there, which is interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, I know I spoke to my cousin about this, and he was just like, look, if I ever go to because my cousin's quite a hard bastard, right? And he was like, if I ever go to prison, I'm never coming out again because I'm not getting raped. I'll kill the man that tries to rape me. So it's like, then all of a sudden you're on a murder charge, and then it's just like fucking
it seems a fine line, don't it, between and I've read a couple of books of different people in different countries and the UK and different places going to prison, and it's a fine line between not getting bullied and standing your ground, but also getting into trouble and then potentially extending your sentence, which is obviously the last thing that you want to do.
Like I say, that is a fine line, a very fine line.
It's just weird, like the whole. It's like a different functioning world. You leave like the outside world and you go into another society where there's like they have their own rules, they have their own like cliques, people like gathering together, doing different things.
Yeah.
You got people who like trade stuff inside. It's like it's just so weird compared to you think you're going from a legitimate outside world. Like, oh, I'm just buying stuff from the shops, but now you're like trading cigs for like access to a telephone inside.
Yeah,
it's such a weird dichotomy.
What I find interesting, again, I've never been to prison, but the closest thing I can put to it is just like basic training in the army, where you do 11 weeks and you're not allowed out of camp. Which once you're out, like out of that training and you get your weekends and stuff, you love it. Like you're so happy to have your weekends, whatever. And it's like I'm surprised at the return rate in prison, because it's
Yeah,
having
yeah.
freedom taken away for, like, say, 6 months.
Yeah.
For me, you'd be like, well, I never want that to happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think some of these people in life lack structure, and then
Yeah.
prison gives them that structure because they're told when to go to bed, when to get up, when to eat, when to exercise, when to go to work, and then it's that cycle that apparently some of them get addicted to.
Yeah. And also, I guess once you come out and you have got something on your record, it does make it slightly harder.
Yeah.
Obviously not impossible, but it does make it slightly harder to get back into a normal routine.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't know. Do they? I suppose don't know. No one really know, I guess. But do they see what you were charged for and how much time you spent in prison if you're a potential employer? Like you're looking at a person from prison.
Have you I don't know if you can say, if you can't, Dan, it's absolutely fine. But have you ever interviewed someone with a that's had?
I had
Does it show up, or is it like they have to tell you?
So obviously within your application form, there's
Yeah.
a section to put, have you got a criminal record?
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know. There's certain things you do have to declare.
Mhm.
Obviously, like, even like say murder or whatever, I think with a
Yeah.
life charge, because if you get a life sentence, it means you have to declare that for life as well. Even if you get out, you still have to tell everyone and
Right.
declare it.
Right.
I have had an instance, again, careful what I say, but
Yeah, of course.
but I did have some, and he was the same lad who worked for me for about a year, and I think he came through an agency. I don't know if he told the agency or not, but he came to me and he was like, "Oh, look, I just wanted to let you know that I think I was like due to take one permanently, so I just want to let you know I have been in prison." And I was like, "Cool," and I was like, "That no problem at all. You've been saying, like, it for me makes no difference. You've proved yourself over a year."
Yeah.
Obviously, I did ask what it was because I've got a factory. I've got like my kids coming and stuff, and so I
Yeah.
wanted to double check what it was.
Yeah.
He told me it was cool.
Mhm.
It's nothing that I considered bad.
Yeah.
You go to prison, you do your time, whatever. It's
Well, that's
water
the
under the
thing.
bridge, isn't it?
That is the thing. Like, that is the idea of prison, is
Yeah.
that you serve your time, and it doesn't change what you did, but in theory, that is the punishment. And if you have served the punishment,
100%.
then you should no longer, in theory, be punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also as well, I look at it like there's probably loads of I imagine percentage wise, let's say 50%. I imagine there's 50% of people who in the past have been in a position or done something where had they been caught, or they might have, it could have ended down that route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a luck element to it. Like, people do
Yeah.
stuff and they get away with it, and you don't do it again. Or when you're young, you do stupid shit.
Yeah.
It only takes a couple of things, and then you can find yourself like near that position. So
Yeah. No,
again,
absolutely.
like that. Unfortunately, prison is just people being caught, isn't it? Basically,
Yeah.
there's loads of people out there that haven't been caught for stuff or
Yeah.
whatever.
No, absolutely. You're right. I was watching this is a bit of a weird. Well, it's about prison, but I was watching this clip the other day, and I think it's one of Jordan Peterson's what's it called, lectures back in the day, and he was saying what like the justice system and the prison system, what it actually is for. And obviously it's for incarcerating, it's for hopefully rehabilitating the individual, but it's also for let's take the most extreme example of murder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that Lozzie, I don't know you, but let's say you killed my sister, right? And it has to be an extreme example for this, right? The prison system is also in place to stop everyone from killing each other.
Yes.
So if you killed my sister and there was no repercussions, I'd either kill one of your, or some of your family, probably more than one, or your family, or you, and then it just goes. So, or say like, you kill my sister, I kill you, your brother kills me, and then my dad kills your brother, and it just goes boom, 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 boom. Whereas because there's a prison system, it takes the want, hopefully, of revenge from the person, and it takes that that burden, or that is one of the. And I'd never ever thought of it like that. But
Yeah.
apparently, that is one of the functions of prison, is that it takes
Yeah.
the burden of revenge or justice from the
Yeah, that makes
individuals.
sense. Yeah. Well, there's always that in your, like, there's always that in your back of your mind. Otherwise, society without prison or that system, it'd be a very strange place, because
Yeah.
if there's no if you can do anything you want and there's no punishment, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I don't. I mean, when was the first when was the first police force created? I don't know, because 1829. Because I was going to say, what were they doing before then?
That's what I think. I was about to say that. I
Because
think.
how have we got that far?
Well, I think generally as humans, and if you look back at our history and coming together, we survived, didn't we, because of community.
Yeah.
And I generally think we're quite self-policing.
Right. Yeah.
You get probably, and also back in the day, again, this is why this if you look into the psychology of it with groups, it was so important to stay in the group.
Yeah.
Because it was survival. It was for things like that. Because if you were alone or whatever, it's probably considered a threat. Probably didn't last long on your own, I imagine. Back at no police and anyone can do what they want. It would have been very safe to raising your kids and your family. Very safe to be in a unit. It's probably why we still put so much worry on what other people think, because it actually makes no difference. It's obviously hardwired into us because of pre 1800s. If you weren't in a group, you weren't with people, you weren't made to be part of the pack, it would be, you probably wouldn't last long. You'd be against your survival instincts, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it's especially back, this is going well back, but obviously in the hunter gatherer days, a village, I guess everyone had their purpose, and there'd be the hunters out getting the food for the whole village, so there's no need to steal or anything like that. And I'm sure there was still stealing and stuff, but like you say, that togetherness was probably a lot stronger than
you
it is now.
depended on each other more.
Yeah. And I guess as well, within those communities and cultures, if you were to steal something or take or not contribute or whatever, you'd be pushed out the pack, and then you'd most certainly probably die. So you just probably didn't do it. They didn't need they didn't need a system for doing bad stuff, because it would be self-regulating. Although I don't know, maybe they just kill you themselves, or it's weird, isn't it? Because if you get a pack of people 100, 200, or even 10, 15, you always get a hierarchy structured in place. And I think Jordan Peterson talks about this with lobsters. Maybe there's a hierarchy, and it's just a natural part of how we survive. And it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. And also, apparently, it's historically, without psychopaths, which is why I don't know if it's why they still exist, but why evolution hasn't got rid of it, is apparently we wouldn't be as far along as we would without psychopaths, because you had to be a certain way to go and fucking fight the saber-toothed tiger. You had to be a certain way to go and do certain things that a regular person would just think, fuck that. Also, did you know that brain patterns, the two jobs closest to a psychopath's brain patterns is a Formula One driver and a surgeon?
Really?
All right.
Surgeon, yeah.
The surgeon's super interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely. So basically, if they weren't surgeons, they'd probably be serial killers. And I guess being a Formula One driver, if you're driving into a corner at 140 miles an hour, you do need to be a certain way.
That's it.
I guess even a surgeon, if you're cutting people up day in, day out, and it doesn't phase you at all, there's probably something in you. Morality wouldn't let them just obviously go and take someone and cut them up, but they probably wouldn't feel any emotion doing it.
Yeah, no.
They could
It's
quite
mad, isn't
happily,
it?
if they had a body there, they'd quite happily chop it up into little pieces and
Yeah.
dispose of it
Have a little
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
if they needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if they were an F1 driver as well. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Ups
I
the
mean,
on the
they're
weekend.
getting paid, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those three, like I know which I'd choose, like money wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Should we have Loz, you'll throw up that
Yeah.
thing that I found and I'll give it a little read because like I say, I don't know why this just gave me anxiety because I'm pretty sure this isn't for like us who are just intrigued. I'm pretty sure this is created like, oh, you're going to prison, right? This is what you need to expect.
Right, okay,
So
yeah.
yeah, so what to expect when starting a prison sentence. This information sheet will tell you all about what generally happens when a person first enters the prison system. So on arrival, after people are sentenced, they are taken from court and initially transported to the nearest reception prison for the first few nights. They may be relocated to another prison depending on the security category, nature of the crime, length of the sentence, and other factors that may need to be taken into consideration. There is a standard procedure for all prisoners arriving at a prison. Prisoners will be required to be strip searched by officers of the same sex to ensure they are not concealing anything. I have always wondered when, when they're found guilty and they walk down them little stairs in the court,
Yeah.
like where do they go? Where do
Yeah.
they go? Property. So the prisoner's belongings will be given to reception staff who will sort out what items are permitted in the prison. All other belongings will be stored until their release. The prisoner is issued with a list of clothing entitlements. At this point, the prisoner will sort out which clothes they wish to or are allowed to wear. Prisoners cannot keep cash with them while they are in prison. The prisons keep money on their behalf in a private cash account. Relatives or friends of the prisoner can send or hand money into these accounts. There is a set amount of money that a prisoner is allowed to spend on a weekly basis. This amount is set by the prison. Identity. The prisoner will be issued with a prison number and given a release date, earliest date of release or EDL, and the qualifying date of possible release on an electronic tag, if applicable. This is called home detention curfew. Information sheet 14 has more information about a tag. The prisoner may be required to have a photograph and fingerprints taken for prison records. They'll be given a PIN number for making phone calls and information on how they can do this. The prisoner will also be asked to complete a list of whom they will be calling, and this list will be checked by the prison. Health. Prisoners will have the opportunity to see a doctor or a nurse. They will discuss with them any current medications they are prescribed and give them the opportunity to raise any physical or mental health issues such as addictions, known medical conditions, or low mood / anxiety. I mean, if you're going into prison for the first time,
Yeah.
I would love to know what sort of person you need to be to not have low mood or anxiety about it.
Yeah.
Well, a frequent offender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't be your first time.
That's true. Yeah.
If prisoners feel upset or worried when they arrive at prison, it is important they talk to someone about it. They should ask to talk to prison staff or to see the prison chaplain if they prefer. Prisons also have specially trained prisoners who are available to talk and listen. These people are called listeners, and they are trained by the Samaritans. This service is completely confidential. Here we go. The first night in custody. After all procedures at reception are completed, the prisoner may be offered a bath or shower and will then be taken to the cell in which they will spend their first night. Some prisons have a dedicated first night block which houses all new prisoners. If the prison they have been taken to does not have this option, they will be taken to a regular prison block. A prisoner may be given the opportunity to buy the following items: toiletries, sweets, and telephone credit. These are very basic packs and may be limited to a certain number per person. Prisoners can purchase further items on a weekly prison canteen sheet, but may have to wait a week to do so. They may also be allowed to make a brief telephone call to their family at this time. After the first night, prisoners will be shown to their cells and issued with bedding and compulsory prison clothing if required. They may have to share a cell with another prisoner. However, the staff will endeavour to ensure this is someone they feel is suitable for the prisoner to share with. Prisoners are also allowed to smoke in their own cells, but they aren't allowed to smoke anywhere else inside the prison building. If the prisoner is a non-smoker and their cellmate smokes, they can speak to staff and may be moved to another cell.
Oh god, that'd be awful.
Can you imagine that? That would be shite.
Like just chain smoking in the corner, and you're just like,
Yeah.
the room is filled with smoke.
It is the responsibility of the prisoner to keep the cell clean and tidy. Adequate cleaning materials will be provided, as will towels and bedding, which will be washed on a weekly basis. Induction. There's a lot going on in there when you first get to prison. All convicted prisoners are given the opportunity to participate in an induction program. This allows the prisoner to see what will happen within the prison on a day-to-day basis, what programs or activities are available, visiting entitlements, and the roles of certain staff within the prison, including the family contact officers. The induction process will vary from prison to prison, and at the moment does not extend to prisoners on remand. There are other differences between remand and conviction prisoners relating to visits, canteen facilities, etc. And it is important to know what these might be. Family induction is also offered by some prisons and given family members an opportunity to understand what the prisoner's daily routine might be. Well, we also know, because Mike told us, that one of these induction programs is a video on rape in prison, which is fucking awful. Passing time in the cell. Most prisons now provide in-cell TVs, which have a variety of channels available. There is a small weekly charge for a TV, and this is deducted from the prisoner's canteen sheet. They should also have a kettle to allow them to make tea and coffee, which they have purchased. Which items are allowed in prison. Each prison has its own rules about what prisoners can keep in their cells. They may be able to keep things such as newspapers, books, or writing and drawing materials. A convicted prisoner may also be allowed to have a CD player or games console equipment in their room, depending on what the prison allows. Other items which may be kept by the prisoner include all letters or legal documents, greeting cards and photos. Glass photo frames are not allowed. Books or magazines, either from the prison library or delivered according to prison procedures. Alarm clocks and watches may be permitted. However, mobile phones, chargers, or SIM cards are not permitted in any prison. Any medication that staff or doctors have agreed to may be kept in the cell. Prison staff will often do cell checks to make sure people in prison do not have any non-permitted items. Can conditions improve? Prisoners should be able to work their way through their sentences, leading towards prison incentives, for example, perhaps aiming towards a better cell or even a single cell, a specific job within the prison, or additional visits. However, progression will depend on a prisoner's sentence, behavior, and the prison's available facilities. Those who follow the rules can earn privileges if they behave well. Privileges are different in each prison. Prison staff can explain to the prisoner how the scheme works. So that is your induction into prison, which is very, very interesting. But yeah, I understand and don't understand simultaneously the mobile phone thing, because I feel like I know obviously, they can be used for nefarious purposes, and a prison phone, as in like, the one that they are actually allowed to use, obviously gets monitored, and these wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I can't help but feel like, if they've got a mobile phone and they can call people, like call family or friends at night time or whatever, I just feel like it would help improve the well, to be fair, I guess improve the experience, and they're actually supposed to be there because they've been naughty. So I guess you don't want to make it too comfortable for them, but then they've got games consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
I feel like it would depend on, obviously it said certain prisons allow other stuff where other prisons wouldn't. So it's down to the prison at the end of the day. I'd imagine if they're there for like more serious and violent crimes, they probably wouldn't get access to a lot of the stuff. That would just be my assumption. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
But if you're there for like, I don't know, financial fraud or stuff like that, I guess you would have a little more of the luxuries, considering your crime isn't a violent one. I don't know. It just seems, like you say, I feel like even if they were given access whenever they really want, within reason, to just the prison phone to call who they wanted to call, instead of having a mobile, I feel like that would probably be better for them overall in how they feel. But who knows?
But like I was saying, the thing is that they're there to be they're there to be punished, aren't they? In a sense, or is it the time that is the punishment? Do you know what I mean? It's very difficult. Like, is it the are they? Because I watched that thing on Netflix. That guy, I forget what his name is, but he done he goes to all the prisons because he was wrongly in prison, as he tells you in every episode. Every episode, I was wrongly in prison for 12 years for a murder I didn't do, and so now he has dedicated his life to going to different prisons. It's like, mate, you got out, like just stop going to prisons. But he love it. But like, there are some prisons. Like, there's this one prison that in season 3. I think it might be in. I want to say Greece, but it's probably completely wrong. But anyway, there's this female warden who is trying this like radical fucking difference, where basically they're on holiday in there, like they get everything,
Right.
but they literally, it's fucking weird. They worship her, like they chant her name and shit when she walks around the grounds and shit. It's literally like a cult. It's really fucking strange, but she believes that the time away from society is the punishment, and so they shouldn't be punished in prison, like with their environment and what they're allowed to do and things like that, and that it should be a pleasant time to give them the opportunity to rehabilitate, rather than treat them like shit, treat them like subhuman, because she believes that you can't rehabilitate from that.
That is the point, isn't it? It is. There's no point in sending somebody in if you can't try and rehabilitate them within reason. I think there's like there's 1 or 2% of certain crimes that they shouldn't even bother rehabilitating.
Of course,
But again, that's self-preference. Anything to do with like like paedophilia and all that sort of stuff. It's just, for me, it just I mean, I don't know.
They don't tend to last too long anyway.
No, exactly. But in general, like 90% or 95% of everyone that goes in there, it's like, you're going in there, you're serving time. I think they do. You can do courses and learn, get qualifications and different things within prison to help rehabilitate, which I think is good. In the UK, anyway, you can.
It comes down to really, you're never going to make anyone or everyone happy with this. At least probably the families affected by the person who's committed the crime. But if you ask most people, you'll get such a wide vary of what they would want to happen to a prisoner. Like, do they want, how many luxuries or how many things do you remove from them before it becomes basically just torture? I'm not saying, obviously, having a games console isn't anywhere near being tortured, but if you remove everything, remove even just putting them in a cell on their own, having 1 hour of activity a day, and then just treat them like that, is that what you want? Or do you want them to have like some functionality if they ever come out? It's a very hard line to kind of draw in the sand, that one.
Difficult, for sure.
And I mean, I always think personally, and I know it would get very fucking old very, very quickly, but I think it's just a fear of being like attacked in prison. But I think I'd want a single cell in 23 hours by myself, just to reduce the risk of anything bad happening. But
I think it's a tricky one. I do know people who've been in prison and stuff, and obviously there are some wrongers and that, but in general, most people do just want to get out, and like just a lot of them. I think the trouble is that we get shown a lot of stuff in on movies and stuff with like American prisons and all this stuff, and it's like, so your view on prison is, you're going to go in and like you got to go around with holding someone's pocket and prison break and all that sort of stuff. I think in general, like, as long as you keep yourself to yourself, like, you're not a complete dickhead, and you try and sort of toe the line. And I don't know because I haven't been in, so I'm just saying what I've heard people say. And it's down to their experience within there. But Yeah, I don't. I don't think it's. Well, every prison's different as well. So depending
Yeah.
what prison you're at, is different. But I think if you keep your head down, you can generally have an okay
Get
life.
through it. Yeah.
Depending, like again, there are bullies in there. There are certain things. So
Yeah.
there's just
Yeah.
certain ways to handle stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Michael said something interesting when he was on, didn't he? Because he said like the prison officers want a quiet wing.
Yeah.
And so if there is a dickhead on there, they'll get them moved quite quick.
Yeah, mate. I think everyone in general there just wants to get through it in a simple life as possible. But unlike everything and everywhere, you've got your extremes.
Yeah.
And you have got your people who, there's a different class of people. The people who've been there first time. There's multiple offenders. There's people who don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Who are quite happy to keep going back in. There's people who don't care about extending their sentence. So it's weird, isn't it? Because you were talking and going through that, and once you go into prison, there's a whole layer of different processes to keep you good, basically.
Yeah.
There's like bonuses and things that they can take away, and if everyone kind of sticks to that, it kind of works.
Yeah.
I suppose if you look at it from the perspective of, if we give them something that is at least makes their life a little bit more enjoyable inside, rather than just going from the get-go, you're getting fuck all. Why would they ever want to improve? Why would they ever want to behave how you want?
But then the flip side of that is, why the fuck would they ever want to go back in?
True.
Or go in the first. Do you see what I mean? It's difficult. And I guess that's why they can't get the prison system right, because how the fuck, do you either treat them really well and hopefully rehabilitate them, or you give the really bad ones a holiday and then they go out and they don't give a fuck if they go back in because they know it's really good, or you make it really awful. So you're like, I would rather die than go back in that building.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And I've seen different countries. I know, I told you before, I had a friend who did 3 months in Thai prison.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there. There is no system. It's just a cell, and they give you rice, and occasionally, like, the best treat you will get is maybe like a little sauce every now and then to put on. Like, you get given the like old. You're saying you get given like old. You get like some old chicken bones and stuff, just like
make a broth or.
Just stuff that's been eaten already. Like I don't know where they get it from, but then they just like throw some of that in. He said that's a bonus. I don't. Again, this is a while ago. I don't know why it's like no. But
fuck me.
And I wonder, and that's just to do with budget, I guess. It's not to do with. They've literally got no money. Like But again, I wonder what the rate of return rate in a Thai prison is.
Yeah.
And it's even harder. I think it's hard for foreigners, but it's even harder for Thai local people as well. I think it's make it even harder.
Yeah, it's fucking mad. Like, foreign prisons scare me even more, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you don't get a bed. You have to wash in like a trough.
Yeah.
The toilet facilities, there's just a hole in the ground.
Man,
it is awful.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really just, if I don't want to go to prison, but if they have like a really like a decent bathroom, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
But if I have to shit in a hole in the ground, I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
In front of people, and also some of those holes in the ground are like they're by where you sleep and stuff as well.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
Don't feed.
Yeah, that's character building right there. Jesus. Yeah. But then, like, sometimes, I think I'm 99% sure this is correct. There was a lad in Dubai. He went over there from England. He went over there to be a PT. A lot of money in Dubai. Okay. So he thought, well, they'll be able to charge a lot. Not bad logic. And his mate came over for a little bit. And I believe they had one of these, which is just a CBD vape, right? Yeah. But CBD, I think, it's either CBD or THC. One of the two is really not allowed in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
And he got pulled over, and his mate had left this in his glove box of his car, and the police fucking arrested him. I'm pretty sure he's doing like 10 to 15 years in a Dubai prison, and is trying to get the UK government to get him fucking like released over to here so that they can sort it out. But yeah, that's what I mean, and that's why when I was because obviously I went to Dubai this year, and I was joking with my barber before I went. I was like, mate, what if I get put in prison for like 5 years for like jaywalking or something? Like, I don't know what's illegal and what's not, you know? It's so fucking, because like I wouldn't think twice about something like this, and yet it's fucking completely done him.
Yeah,
you know,
that
you
is
just
mental.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even know that.
No, exactly. How fucking scary is that?
Yeah.
CBD.
It's just fucking mad.
God, imagine the gummies. Imagine I went over and had a pack of those gummies.
It's like you find them in your glove box, and you see the police behind you and trying to munch them all fucking quickly.
I end up doing a 20 stretch for some Haribo with some CBD.
Oh god, that's what I mean. Like these, you know, the rules that you just don't know that you could break.
Yeah. You will get people who say the classic one is like ignorance of the law is not, you know.
But that's true. That is. But then also on the flip side of that is that, like, when you're in your own country, you pretty much know the laws in your own country.
Yeah.
You go to, like, say, if you go to another country, you've got to research it a bit, but you know, you're not going to
every law.
You're not going to, you're not going for the bar. You're not going to study all the, like, I did not know that about. I remember my mate saying in Mexico vapes are dodgy, but you can get them out there. And he had one in the airport, and they took it off him and stuff. And so it's interesting. And yet you have that rule for something like that, but then if you get caught with like some cocaine or whatever, just give the police a bribe.
It's fucking, it is fucking.
But get caught with a vape, you might do a couple of years.
No, it is mad. It is mad, but yeah, just, and also some countries, you know, well, I mean, like, for example, so you say in Thailand there, right? That Thai prison, and they didn't have a system or anything. Like, I'd be scared if I went into a Thai prison. Say I went into that Thai prison, right? And I'm like, I've got a shit next to my bed. I get a cup of rice every fucking day. I might get a chicken bone in a couple of weeks. Like, I'd be thinking, who the fuck is keeping on top of my case? Like, am I going to be forgotten? And just be here forever?
That actually happens, because the lad who went in, obviously I spoke to him when he came out, but I actually phoned him in Thai prison from the UK. Yeah, I got hold of someone who was out there kind of traveling with him, and then he went in, and I got a number, and then I ended up speaking to him when he was in there. But there's people in there from other countries who haven't got the money to get out, and they're just in there like constantly. And it'd be like 400 quid or something, and they could get out, but they're from poor countries. For him, it wasn't. He didn't need a lot of money to get out. I think it was about 700 quid.
Yeah. Which is nothing for your freedom.
No, he just couldn't get it. He didn't have access to anyone. I was skint at the time. He did pay it in the end, though.
Jesus, man, it's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is crazy.
But yeah, you're right. Like that who's like looking out for you? You know, what support system? If you got, I think that's mainly what it is. If you've got a support system of people, you can generally, and money. If you've got money, you can generally get out of, make your life easier, get out of stuff easier, especially in foreign countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just definitely. Money just seems to be the common denominator here.
Yeah.
Have you ever read a book called Marching Powder?
No.
So that's about a guy who was drug trafficking, and I believe he got caught in Chile. He got put in I think it's Chile, and he got put in a prison. I'll have to double check it. But anyway, he went back into prison, and within the prison was where they dealt all the cocaine. So all the cocaine would come into the prison, and they would distribute it up from there. And he dealt with more drugs in the prison.
In the prison,
yeah. So he was sending out envelopes.
Fucking hell!
With like food sealant stuff, and it was all the cocaine was in the envelopes, and they were on like this massive urn within the. And he did that for years within the prison. So yeah, it's a really good book, Marching Post. There's a couple that did the circuit. There's another one about Thai prison, which is it's probably a bit outdated, but there's some horrific stuff that happens in there.
Yeah,
Christ.
But yeah, they're good. They're the books that when you go traveling, there's kind of like people who come and sell you the books, and there's like the Thai book, the Marching Powder, all these ones about like travelers have been locked up and stuff.
Makes you want to travel.
Yeah. Marching Powder. I might just Google that.
Oh man. It's like that there's that beach in Thailand. It's it might be an island. It's either an island or a beach, and it's run by the mafia. And the amount, but it's like it's one of the most beautiful fucking locations on the planet. But the amount of travelers that they've just hung on the beach,
really,
for like disrespect or whatever, because their mafia is fucking insane. I want to say
basically like Mexico in there.
Yeah, like fucking scary. I mean, there was those two near me in Lozzie. There's a little village called Hemsby. There was a girl and a guy went traveling, and they were killed in, I think, Thailand. It's fucking crazy.
The stuff does happen. Just again, you got to have your wits about you. Be careful. There's a bit of luck involved as well, or unlucky as well sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, also in the grand scheme of things, I know you obviously hear about these stories because they, there's the news exists. There's YouTube channels like mine exist. You do hear about these cases, but ultimately, if you think about it, yes, these people do tragically die, but there are also thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands that just go traveling and they're absolutely fine. They're having an amazing time.
Exactly. And people die
all the time.
All the time in like
all walks of life.
In your town. If you Google how many people die in your town, like just sometimes things happen that are unlucky, and sometimes that is just happens to like a traveler and stuff. I think it's just important to wherever you go, again, do a bit of research. And also as our money comes into it, like if you've got literally no money at all when you go places, like you're very luck's against you, because you might find yourself in like predicaments where if you had a bit of cash, you could you got somewhere safe to stay or whatever. You'll be a bit better off. Always have a reserve account if you can. Got 100 in it.
Yeah, just for them when you got to pay off the police.
Pay off the police, yeah.
Dear me. Well, I think I'm going to do a few stories now just to make prison sound even more appealing. These are like kind of Reddit stories, so I can't obviously give any testament to how true they are. So take it with a pinch of salt. But these are some of the posts that have been on there. They're just curated on this website. So I'll read the first one. I will warn you, if you are eating a early lunch or a brunch, if you're continental, you probably want to get a bag just at the ready in case, because some of these are pretty
are they bad?
Yeah. So start with the first one. My cellmate was truly crazy and was tortured by hallucinations. One day he managed to gouge one of his eyes out with a fork at lunch in front of everyone, then puncture the other eye with something before the screws.
Oh, wow.
The screws are the prison guards. They do say this quite a lot. I'd searched that as well because I was a bit confused. He was screaming like a banshee when he ripped the first one out and threw it on the floor. God. And everyone just stared in shock, including the screws. At first, it looked like a skit or something. After the first one was out, he went really quiet and pulled something from his waist and started rapidly stabbing the other eye with it. I heard it pop. Disgusting. Jeez. Just the visual in my mind of someone just like in an absolute rage, just stabbing their own face.
Do you know what's instantly popping out to me, right, is Dan last week saying how therapeutic these podcasts are.
Now we're going to people stabbing their own eyes out.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
There goes my dinner and my nice relaxing sleep tonight.
If you're eating a festive sandwich, you're chucking it up right now.
Oh. Is that story?
Does it say why he did it or anything?
No,
or...
it's like these are just like accounts of their
Jesus.
experience in seeing what.
I mean, it's fucking. It is mental. I don't see any. I don't get it.
I think he must have had some issues for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
to
Christ.
do
my
to
hallucinations.
be fair, to do one, to
Yeah.
slap one out and then actually still have the
But why
the
your
bottle
eyes,
or
man?
the just. I mean, yeah.
Oh, I guess he was sick of seeing the hallucinations. I don't know. Oh
Maybe.
God.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna. I don't think his brain was set up to. I don't think that sorted his problem out.
No.
I still think there's going to be problems.
He's still gonna have issues. Yeah, his
Yeah.
brain is not a normal. It's not like he stabs his eye out and then he's. I mean, God, like I don't know how bad things would have to be in your mind to do that. It's insane.
It is.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere special in your mind to be able to pull that off.
To do it to yourself, like if you did it to someone else, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, like that, you know. But to do that to yourself,
yeah,
like
that's heavy. That's heavy stuff.
Well, the next one's probably
nice. That was a nice start.
That's it. The next one's not that much better. In fact, I think it's worse. When I was 20 years old, I thought I wanted to be a correctional officer. One night, I was sent to work at the medical ward, where each inmate had their own isolated cell, where they were let out twice a day. That night, I was going around with the nurse giving the inmates their medicine, and we came to one inmate's cell, and as soon as we opened the door, I was knocked back by the most putrid smell I've ever smelled in my life. I've been to the dump plenty of times in my life, and it was nothing in comparison to the smell this inmate had going on. Once we were done giving out the medicine, I went up to the officer training me and asked him what was going on with the inmate and why he smelled so god-awful. He said, "Oh, you met Grady. He shits and pisses himself on purpose. He never changes or showers, so he constantly lives in his own filth. I found out that he was sexually assaulted in prison, so he started shitting and pissing himself to deter people sexually assaulting him."
I mean, that would work.
There's logic.
But fucking hell.
That is an extreme measure. But it's just rank all round.
To be fair, like I don't blame him. I'd probably, if I had to stink of shit so no one would touch me,
yeah,
I'd do that.
I'd
rather not. I'd rather not go through that. But
yeah, it would be something you'd rather not. Again, enjoying your lunch, everyone.
Fucking hell. Great. I was going to have lunch after this.
Well, just remember pissing and shitting yourself.
Yeah, nice chocolate, nice Nutella on toast.
with an apple juice.
Oh, love it. Lukewarm.
And a couple of little grapes.
Bit sweet on the Nutella.
Oh, God.
Not me, but I spoke to a former inmate after his release who had developed severe PTSD from some of the things he witnessed while incarcerated. One of the stories was that he was playing cards with some guys and one of them was smoking a cigarette. Another inmate who was not playing with them approached the table and asked the guy smoking if he could get shorts on the cigarette. Shorts means before you finish smoking, you give the cigarette to someone so they can smoke like the last bit, essentially. The smoker agreed, the inmate wandered off, and they went back to playing cards. Well, the guy playing cards must have forgotten and finished the cigarette.
Oh, God.
A little while later, the other inmate come back to the table asking for the shit, and the guy at the table told him that he had forgotten about it and finished the cigarette. The guy wanders off again, and they go back to playing cards. Shortly afterwards, the inmate who wanted the shorts on the cigarette comes back to the table, comes up behind the player, pulls his head back, and starts shanking him in the eye and the throat with a pen/pencil. Dude died over forgetting to give someone a damn cigarette butt.
Oh, my God. This is what I mean. Fuck prison. What the fuck?
That's
it's a bad
Is there
day,
any need? Is there? Just get a fuck.
It's not for a full ciggy. It's for a fucking butt of a cigarette. He wants to smoke the filter. Just
That's what I'm saying. So you have to be careful, don't you, of these things that could escalate that aren't really anything that you've done. It's just,
Well, one of the common things is apparently in like the first few days of your sentence, you'll have prisoners offer you some of their food and some of their snacks and stuff, and like if you take them, all of a sudden you're in debt to them. And then and so it's just things like that, like because you might just say, oh yeah, I'll have a little slice of that cake, nice one, because in normal life that's a nice fucking gesture. But now they're like, well, now I need you to go stab the guy in cell 24, I'm gonna slit your throat, and you're like, oh fuck it, that wasn't even nice cake.
That's things can escalate over nothing that you've done. I think I read out Embleton's book because he did a short time in prison. And,
did he?
Yeah, it's in his book, but he gives it a story when he first goes in, and again he just wants to get his head down and stay out of trouble. But you get given like your phone pack and stuff, and then a prisoner was like, "Oh, I need that," or can I buy it? Or give it me, or buy it off or something. Basically, just trying to get it, and he was like, "No, it's like mine," or phone credit, I think it was. Sorry, and then he's like, "No," and he's like, what do I do? I can knock this guy out easily and finish him, but then and then he's trying to like, this guy's a nobody trying to bully his way. It's like, how do you navigate that without getting? And it's a situation that he hasn't caused. And you just and I imagine there's lots of that. So it's trying to navigate that. So you don't want to fight. You want to tell them to fuck off. But then you don't want any hassle. You can't be bothered with like then someone. Because I guess everyone's trying to. It's a bit of peacocking, isn't it? Everyone's trying to like test you out and see who you are, see you to leave alone and stuff. So you got to have a level about you where you would have to probably have a scrap, but you kind of want to avoid it.
You just can't. You can't give in at the
can't
first.
show weakness.
No, because then they'll just mark you for like, you're an easy fucking.
Yeah, because I've also seen like people say you find the biggest CUNT you can, and you just beat the fuck out of them on day one, and then hopefully you're right.
Imagine that though. You go and he just fucking beats the shit out of you, and then he's like, right.
Yeah,
he didn't even do anything. Just the big guy in there. He's like, why is it? And then he's like, right, all his mates just beat you up every day. It's such a fine line. Isn't it? It's
that's balls to the wall though.
But then in America they have the paint thing, don't they? Going hard in the paint, which is apparently how you prove if you go into a cell with like multiple people, you have to prove yourself. So you have to fight someone, and the paint is I believe the paint is essentially like a fucking square on the floor, and you're not allowed to come out of it. And you go hard in the paint, and you just beat the fuck out of each other until someone steps back.
I think you just got to go in and have one scrap with someone, nothing too mad, and it's just like when an opportunity arises, just think, fuck it, I'm going to get in a fight. Like I'll choose this one, and then hopefully after that you just you get left alone, and they go for the guy who doesn't fight and gives in.
It's so primal, isn't it?
It's very primal.
I wonder what and this is just genuinely from a place of ignorance. I wonder what women's prisons like in comparison.
It's probably just as bad, mate. It's probably saying like there's horrible people in there, and you have to fight and stuff as well. There's a James English podcast out with a lady who's just done 16 years in prison.
Really?
I've seen the clips for it, but by all accounts, that's can watch that.
Yeah,
get a good insight to it. But I think it's probably just as bad.
Yeah, crazy. Fuck prison.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just not a nice place.
Essentially, that's what we'll come to.
I'll read you one more story.
Oh, sorry, bro. Yeah, I'm just constantly thinking about prison.
So I wouldn't say this one's quite as bad, but it's got a quite a what's the word. It's basically the word bitch seems to bring out like you're fighting straight away if you call someone a bitch. That's what it seems to be general in TV, films. And this story involves calling someone a bitch and then having a fight, which one side was incredibly just not aware of. I was in Lawrenceville Penitentiary in Virginia from 2011 to 2014. From a penitentiary standpoint, it was quite accommodating. They had all drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and cell phones you could ever dream of. I was working in the kitchen towards the middle of my shift, making myself an egg sandwich one morning. This young dude got into a dispute with a dude everyone knew as Unk. That's UNK. Who, by the way, was a super quiet guy who didn't mess with anyone. They were apparently arguing over a cigarette when the young buck called Unk a bitch. Unk grabbed a can of green beans, baseball pitched it across the kitchen, and nailed young buck in the face. Unk ran over to young buck, picked the can back up, and beat him across the face with it. When he was done ripping young buck's face off with the can, he spit on him and said, "That's what happens when you call a real man a bitch." That was the last time I ever called any man a bitch.
It's always the quiet ones.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's
It
always
seems
don't
to
mess with
be-
the quiet ones.
That word ignites just pure hatred and anger straight away.
I think it's because of what it implies, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think if he was to let it, certainly in that
Yeah,
environment,
exactly. In prison,
in that environment,
yeah.
to, he's a bitch. He got called a bitch. He didn't do anything about it. He is a bitch, and then you're fucked. I think so. He had to beat the fuck out, and then that's probably it. Like he probably had no one else mess with him.
It must be done. It's one of those things when you got green beans at hand, fucking launch it, and that's it. What happens afterwards happens.
Yeah.
But
then, like, what's but is there then consequences? Do you know what I mean? Or will it be like the guy that got absolutely pasted doesn't want to be seen as a snitch, so then he says, "Oh, he fell over," you know?
Yeah.
So is there, like, what I'm saying is, because what we said at the start, like, oh, you go in, you're never coming out because, but if you prove yourself, I would imagine that not a lot of people would actually grass you up, because that is like one of the most deplorable things you can do in a prison.
Yeah.
So it probably works in your favor, like you say, to have one or maybe two beat downs.
Yeah. I think you need like alliances in there, but with people aligned with you on your values and that. I think
it might be hard to find in prison too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
go on,
had
Dan,
another friend who went, and there was a few of them that actually ended up going for. I won't say too much, but a few of them ended up going anyway. And because there's a group of them in there, they actually found it a lot easier. He said it was like his experience with it was a lot easier.
Sweet.
Because
they all ended up going to the same prison.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was. It was for.
You don't have to say.
Yeah. Basically, it was. I don't know. Imagine if there was a group of you. It wasn't anything bad. It was just. It was
a group crime.
Yeah. It wasn't really. I mean, it was a crime, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything that they did to anybody. It was just.
Yeah.
They were opportunistic. Let's say.
Right.
It's
mad that they ended up
in
the
something.
same.
They all got sent to the same. It wasn't it was only a small sentence.
I would have thought that would have been something they would have totally just not allowed.
Yeah, it was low level though. It wasn't like anything. These weren't like they weren't like big, sort of gangsters or anything. It was just like a low level crime essentially.
Right.
Enough to go to prison.
It's like that that show I was on about earlier. The guy that goes around all the prisons. He was in one. I think it was in Russia. And he was interviewing this guy, and then this other guy came along and sat down, and the guy was like, "Oh, this is my brother," and it was actually his biological older brother. They're just both in prison, in the same prison. Imagine your brother being in the same prison.
I think there are set procedures in place. There must be, mustn't there? Like if you go somewhere, it's like, okay, if you fit within this bracket and you're based here, then you go there.
Yeah.
They just haven't got the time to go for every individual one. They're just like, boom, boom, boom. It's just a quick process. Obviously, if it's like a big case, it's different. But in general.
And now they're probably on the front lines in Ukraine.
There we go.
That's it.
There we go.
Brothers in arms.
That's it.
I think what we'll do, as we normally do at the end of the pod, is go to a Q&A section, as all the lovely people join us live.
I think there's been a few questions throughout.
Yeah, get a few questions in. I was seeing if we had any questions earlier on. I think I did see one earlier on, which I'll put on. Just got to find it. But yeah, get your questions in. We'll do last like 10, 15 minutes Q&A.
Nice.
Fucking bang them in. But yeah, prison's a weird, definitely not wonderful place, it seems, based on the stories I've got. And I really hope I never go there as a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one to be avoided if possible.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Have any of you ever been to prisoners like just visiting or been like there out of, I don't know, can you go there? Well, you would have done good with Mike. Didn't he show you around the prison?
Yeah, because the prison shut down.
Yeah.
So he took me around, which was fucking crazy. The craziest, well, not the craziest bit, but one of the crazy bits was we went to the lifers wing, and their cells are fucking tidy. I've been to worse fucking Premier Inns, man.
Jesus.
Like,
Really?
honestly, yeah. But it's like he was just like, yeah, they're doing 25 to life, so they just got all, they've got their own wing and they've got their own.
I suppose with them,
that stuff.
Obviously, you can't restrict anything. It's pointless because it's like so it's like you want to just keep them as comfortable as possible because if they've got nothing to lose mentality, they're dangerous, aren't they, to have them about?
Yeah.
So
yeah, but there was like a fucking 3G pitch. There was all sorts of shit on there.
Fuck.
Yeah. Apparently they'd have football games against the staff.
Wow, that could go wrong.
I know, yeah. But it's very longest yard, apart from it's obviously NFL. Oh no, your longest yard is based on is it Football Factory? I can't remember.
I think so, yeah.
Film with fucking Vinnie Jones and that, I think.
Fucking Vinnie Jones. First question from Liam Bennett. If you had found out each other had been sent to prison, what crime would you think each other had committed?
Oh, nice.
That's
okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm going to go first on this, right, with Jordan.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
100% going to be GBH or
What?
he will do it in response to something like this really pissed him off. He won't just crack and just start killing people willy-nilly. He'd do it for someone would piss him off. That's what I feel.
Right. I'd just like to highlight, I've never been, well, apart from when I was at school, I've never been in a fight. Like out and about. I'm not a violent person. But apparently I'd go to prison for GBH. So there we go. I'm easily pissed off, I'll give you that. But I do have some restraint.
I'm gonna go Lozzie, undercover drug lord. Of Yarmouth.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Give us put some respect.
But not undercover. Yeah, because
covert.
Covert is a word I'm looking for.
Drug
covert, just like. And it was all, like in Breaking Bad, it's all operating from his shop, and like all these people going in. He's like massive, just a massive drugs conspiracy. But like, drugs that older people can have as well. What's opioids? Just a massive opioid case.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Opioids.
Just loads of opioids to all these old people.
What are you going to prison for?
And then Jordan, I'm going to say like he watches so many of these movies about serial killers that he ends up just literally he's done about 10 people.
If I start covering a mysterious serial killer that no one else is covering, and I know all the intricate details.
Is it the Night Stalker film where he starts doing the crimes to catch it?
Yeah.
It's like you keep there's a murderer. He's in the UK. Like no one knows it, and you're like your YouTube's going mad and blowing up. But you have to keep killing to keep the growth going.
Yeah. That's
but you're close to 1 million subs.
Yeah. Get one more
person.
What would Dan go to prison for?
What would you go to prison for, Dan? Oh, I don't know.
I think
could be
if you ever got access to Chris Watts,
Yeah, Chris Watts got released. I reckon you'd fly over.
Oh yeah, he'd be dead.
And kill him.
I'll take him out.
Murdering Chris Watts.
Chris Watts, please.
That's it.
Question here from Scott Evans. Scott, what a legend. If you had life in prison for something not your fault, would you try and escape?
100%. Even if it was my fault. If I'm doing life.
Dan's saying it as a challenge. Get me in there.
Yeah.
I'll escape.
If we're doing life, like, why not?
Yeah. I suppose if there's no possible chance of getting out, then I suppose you would. How you would? That's another question. Fucking
People
another
have done it,
question.
in there. So there's
Yeah.
3 guys on the Isle of Wight who did it. It's
I think-
possible.
I think not getting caught again is harder than escaping.
Yeah. It's living on, especially nowadays with all the cameras.
Yeah. Like you've got to disappear fucking fast. Like you got to go to like South America or somewhere like quick.
Yeah.
And
you got
change
to,
your
or you got to
identity.
definitely go off grid for.
Yeah.
Got to get your tent out.
Yeah. But no, I'll definitely try and escape. Why not? Be something to
Yeah,
do. What's the worst thing? You
Yeah.
you get your sentence extended.
Yeah, you're doing life anyway.
Guess what? I'm trying to escape again.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll probably try all sorts of shit. I'm not like if I'm in there for life for not murdering someone, I'll probably like, well, when in Rome, and then just kill someone in the prison. Like, just to see what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine that case, that scenario? Like if you are doing life in prison and you actually didn't do anything, like
Oh, it'd be awful.
I just don't like. I don't know
Fuck.
how I would cope.
How would you function?
Probably one of the worst things ever. To know in your heart that
Yeah,
that
you're innocent.
You're innocent. Oh,
And also
man.
to see people around you being like, well, he probably did though, didn't he? And it's like, fuck. Yeah, that'd be awful. That'd be absolutely awful. But yeah, definitely try and escape.
Thanks for that question, Scott.
Yeah, brilliant.
Guy Edwards, have you guys watched Pepsi? Where's My Jet? What are your thoughts on it?
Yes.
So
I haven't. I
Is it
want to though. I've seen the trailer for it. It looks fucking quality.
It's epic.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it even about? I don't know what it's about.
So, sorry, go on, Dan. You've seen it. So you might as well.
No, you can say.
I was from the trailer.
Yeah.
Pepsi did this crazy fucking marketing campaign where I'm guessing if you bought a can, you got like a point or got points, and then you could trade the points in for rewards. And they had like 7 million or 700, 7 million points. You got a fucking jet, and this guy worked out that the jet was worth like 12 million or something. It would only cost 4 million to get the jet. So he did it. I think he got like some finance people involved in that so he could like get the money together, and he did it. And then Pepsi changed their ad to like, this is a joke in brackets. And so then he took, I'm guessing, because then the trailer finishes, but I'm guessing he then takes them on legally.
Yeah. Right
to
about
get the jet.
Yeah. It's what's interesting, and I won't ruin it, but so the guy, it starts off, it's really well documented and filmed, but it starts off with him in a hangar and there's a jet behind him.
Right.
So you're like, is that his jet?
Yeah.
And all the way through, you're like, you don't know whether he actually did or didn't till the end. But it's really interesting. It's a really good watch.
Yeah,
and
I might give it a watch this evening. Actually,
yeah, it's a good watch. It's funny, and mental as well at the same time. But yeah, like it is along that premise. In the end, he did get someone to help him. Who would like invest in it, and then he found like a bit of a loophole with the point system. But watch it and then.
How many episodes is it?
I think it's 4.
4
episodes,
okay.
3 or 4. But it's funny because like you see all the Pepsi directors in there, and like they're a bit shady, man. They're just like they're like, obviously it's like, well, you're saying obviously it was a joke, and obviously you would kind of think, yeah, it is a joke, but there's so many like goings on that happen behind closed doors for them to make it, just for them to try and get the advantage. So it's a good game of cat and mouse.
But I'll give it a watch.
Pepsi are dodgy as fuck. There's the case as well. You could probably cover this, Jordan, where they did it in the Philippines, I think, with the number 389 or something like that, where they basically said you could win the lottery in the I'm sure it's the Philippines. And the printer printed a load of bottles with this number on. There's obviously only supposed to be 2, so they made like 800 people or 800.
The 349 incident.
349, yeah. And mate, there was riots and there's like people getting killed, and because all these people thought they were millionaires. I've seen it in a poor country as well. And
Jesus Christ! It led to the deaths of at least 5 people. What the fuck? And
then like Pepsi turned and they're like, oh yeah, United States, we'll give you like $40 it's like $40 each, and it's like, no, you've said we've won the lottery, like so yeah,
thousands
imagine
of
that.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, it's a really good case. You should cover it.
Yeah, I'll have a look at it. Because to be fair, I'll still do the murders and stuff, but with the true crime, I'm kind of thinking, am I being a bit too morbid all the time? So I do want to go into like maybe bank heists or financial
some
true crime
corporate
and stuff.
crime.
Just like because it's still true crime.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really cool. I'll definitely have a look at that. Because to be fair, I was thinking when I saw the trailer for the Pepsi jet thing, I was thinking like, I reckon I could get away with covering that.
Yeah, it's good. It's
that
good.
Looks really cool. The fucking lottery one.
It's like it's really interesting how like because you I don't want to spoil it, but like obviously it's a joke, but then the way Pepsi have done stuff in the past to like make kids buy drinks, like.
But the thing was, the first advert didn't have "this is a joke" on it, so it's not until they were like, "Oh fuck, someone's kind of won it," that they re-released it, didn't they? With the brackets, "This is a joke."
So the whole argument was it was like they almost made it like attainable for like some people because they're like, oh, obviously it's a joke. It's like, no, but you're aiming this at kids. It's a kids advert, so like that's the people who are buying the drinks, getting their parents to buy the drinks. So like you're making something that could be attainable, or like a false promise. So like then more people are going to buy your drinks. Because of that. So that was their kind of argument. But it was good.
I'm definitely going to give that a watch. We should. I know we're doing the 100 special next week, but we can still talk about other stuff. But maybe have a little chat about the Pepsi thing as well next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll watch it.
That'd be cool.
Just like even in that scenario, even if they put it was a joke from the start and they still advertised it to kids, are they really going to have the capacity to understand what the joke is? Like, oh, it's not actually, you can't actually get a jet.
Exactly, mate. Yeah,
even from the start, it's like it's fucked from the start.
Yeah. And so they put that on after as well, but they actually re-released it. They've released it first, in Canada, and it did say on it, "This is a joke." So they purposely took that off for their campaign run in America, which is like, why do that?
Yeah, to make it seem attainable. So
people
to buy a load of.
Again, I don't want to ruin it too much, but there's another thing with the points. When it first originally started off, it was a lot more points than that. And now we're like, oh no, it looks too long. We need to make it. They basically said we want to make it like almost attainable. To get people spending.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh yeah, no, it's obviously it's a joke, and kept like, for me, it gave me a bad taste of the corporate. Like I was rooting for the guy to get it all the way through.
Yeah. I think you normally do when it's
corporations
like,
aren't nice, are they? They're as successful as they are because of
yeah.
Being
they are massive CUNTs. Pepsi. For sure.
Yeah. Long live Coca-Cola, who are probably even worse, but there we go.
I imagine. They're just better at covering it.
Yeah.
They just went for winning like Mini Cooper or something like that.
A conspiracy on that 349 is that because a load of Pepsi trucks and that got bombed.
Fuck.
But then the conspiracy was that Pepsi did that themselves to
make it look like
go, poor us.
Mate, it wouldn't be. I mean, fuck, it wasn't the American. This is so extreme, but with the American government, I think invaded Cuba, but in the guise of like the fucking revolution or whatever to get so that they could. There's that sort of shit happens all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, potentially, allegedly, possibly, maybe 9/11. You don't know, but these things do fucking happen.
These things happen. Yeah. Weapons of mass destruction.
That never.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So fuck him. I'll definitely look into that Pepsi thing. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Got another question here from Matthew Lloyd. If you were in prison for 20 years, what would you change your personality to make you seem tougher?
I'll probably have to tone mine down.
It's fucking me then.
That's fucking brilliant.
Big Leroy in the corner. You're getting it, son.
That's fucking got me eyes. That's fucking brilliant.
I don't know. Maybe I'd play like the psycho card. Maybe.
I was thinking exactly the same. I'd be thinking just like split personality. And go,
You're about to start a scrap with like the biggest guy in there. You quickly take a shit in your hand and like do war paint with it. Like, let's go. Fucking let's have it. So you just smear it on your knuckles and then you just like let's
You better not open your fucking wounds up, mate.
Yeah. I mean, look at what's his name? Charles Bronson. I mean, I know he is kind of insane, but like, you know, that scene in the movie, which I assume is real, where he starts on the prison staff are about to raid him, and so he's got that cellmate just fucking putting Vaseline over his entire body so that he can like slip through him.
Good idea.
Just do shit like that. Just go fucking mental.
Yeah, I think if you're not 6'4", built like a brick shit house,
you've
got to play to your only strengths.
You've got to pull the psycho card out.
Yeah.
Like start having a conversation with somebody who's not there. It's like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Even in here, you won't leave me alone. It's like, fucking hell, this guy is fucking tapped.
Yeah.
Let's leave him the fuck alone.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
or you could flip it and you could be like, I'm just gonna like try and be the funny guy, just like cracking jokes and just but then that might get you in trouble. But funny people like funny people, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Entertain the other inmates.
Become the jester.
Yeah, I mean, to make you seem more tougher. So I always think if I ever got put in, you'd shave your head for sure, wouldn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Shave your head. I think a beard's good. I'll probably get some like more tattoos.
Face tattoo.
Yeah, and I'd work out. I'd work out.
Absolutely.
I'd want to work out loads. Like,
yeah, I think you've just got to utilize your strengths as well.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, so perfect example. I was a PT for 4 years. I got a degree in sports science, health and exercise. Okay, I can maybe help these fucking monsters. Get bigger. I'm like, look, I've it's like apparently in some of the American prisons, like if you can play basketball, you're not set, but there's certain periods of time where you'll be completely fine because you're playing basketball, you're playing really well. Like just different things. I think if you're useful to people, then
become useful.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
not too useful. Not hold the pocket useful.
No. But like, and I'm not being funny. If I'm like, I'm not saying PT and people, but doing whatever, and I'm very competent at spotting people on bench press and that. If you got the absolute monster and he's benching 150, you just push it down on his throat, and then it's like, there we go, he's dead, and now I'm the king. But then no one will let me spot him ever again.
I was going to say, your spotting duties are fucking gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a tangent. Just because you've just clicked something in my mind, I've got to say it. Do you ever? There's a prison program where there's a big weightlifting competition, and it was a massive thing. And like, there's like two big guys that did it, and it was like it was huge. What was it on? And basically, the main guy who won every year kept winning. This other guy who was like mad strong, and he was like younger, and like everyone was like, he kept smashing the weights, like he's going to beat you. And I think whoever won it was like they kind of like were up in the tier system in the prison.
Yeah.
And anyway, he did it, and he did all this, and this guy couldn't beat him, and they're like fucking. And then like someone moved the weight, and he'd made a fake weight, like out of wood, but it was perfect, like replica. And he's
faking it,
and he's faking it, mate. And it was I can't remember. And this is like legit proper story. And
you get away with that?
Yeah, it's mad. He'd made this fake thing. It could still lift, but he just wasn't lifting.
He just wasn't.
And he'd made obviously he put that on, and then he put the other one on after it and locked it up and stuff. And but they found out, and it was like,
what happened to him after they found out?
I mean, he was still tough. He was still quite big, but obviously he wasn't the main man then anymore.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I watched that. It's so weird. I need to get that out. If anyone listening knows what that is, let me know.
Oh, that's fucking mad. That's the wrong place to get exposed.
Exactly.
In a bodybuilding competition, even in a gym, that's not great. But in a fucking prison,
and everything was based on that. Him being like, they were like, this guy's just like, no one could believe like he was so strong.
Yeah,
it's fake.
Fuck.
The skill he must have in carpentry though to make that look.
Mate,
like,
it was so perfect. It was like it's painted red, and it just and even like when he lifted it, you can see even his actions, like the acting, like trying to put it on, like it was really good, really good.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, we've got. It's not a question, a suggestion here, probably for you, Jordan.
What's that?
Zoe Rose says, I'll put it on screen for you. You should talk about the mafia involvement with McDonald's monopoly. Never even fucking knew what's that about.
Wow,
No.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely, we could. I mean, we could do a pod as well, like just on all these, like the Pepsi thing, the McDonald's thing. Because I think that's a documentary as well, the McDonald's monopoly. Although I didn't realize there was mafia involvement. I assumed the documentary on the McDonald's monopoly thing was apparently like all the staff and like the CEO, not the CEO, well maybe the CEOs, but like the the high up people. You know, when it was like win $100,000 or win a Mini Cooper, they were taking all of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was mafia involvement in the McDonald's monopoly. That's crazy.
Look out for that.
Yeah.
Give it a quick look. But yeah, McDonald's monopoly. I can't even remember. I think I got like 2 matches of one color of some of the places on there last time I did it. It's just
I've never won anything substantial.
No, it's always been like you get a free
drink
or something.
Yeah. Something to make you go back and spend more money.
Yeah, that's like they used to do like stickers for you. I think it's if you got 6 stickers, you got a free hot drink or something. Every time you went to order, you got a sticker. If you ordered a hot drink, they give you a sticker.
Yeah,
and then you'd hand in a complete card with like 6 stickers on it, and you get a free hot drink.
You can buy them. You can buy the sheets on eBay.
Yeah, you could buy the sheets on eBay, and
I know someone that's done that. Yeah.
They've obviously stopped that now, but it's just funny.
You could buy the sheets for like 20 quid, and you'd literally have like fucking about 50 free
nice
coffees worth.
Yeah,
So obviously people at McDonald's were just like taking the sheets,
and
then putting them on eBay.
That's funny.
And also I also know from the person that did it that if you were doing it, eBay would block your account as well. So it was both ends. But I guess they're both massive corporations, aren't they? So they're looking out for each other.
So look out for us, we'll look out for you. Somehow.
Again, I know we're coming to an end. And did I ever tell you my missus worked at McDonald's for like 2 days?
No.
2 days.
We were backpacking in Australia, and so I went in to see her, and I hadn't seen her in her uniform, and I went in. I was getting some food anyway, and then like she was like in her uniform, like doing the chips, and then she turned around, and it got me, like when something and it caught me, and I hysterically started laughing. I was in the queue. I was about to be served. I hysterically started laughing, and I couldn't hold myself up on the counter. And then and she was like, and I just fell on the floor, and I was like, it must have been so weird for the person serving me. Because she just had this little hat and this thing, and then there was this like 16-year-old kid like telling her what to do, and I just fucking mate, it's so funny. And she got embarrassed, and I was literally on the floor laughing, and like people were like looking round, and I just had to leave. It was fucking it was funny.
Sake. That's savage. Well, I had a mate in high school who worked in McDonald's for like a day or two because I think he didn't last one shift because on his first shift someone took a shit on the floor in the toilets and the manager told him to go and clear it up, and he's telling them fuck off and just left.
Same. Fair play to him.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
What was he? Was he just employed as like the
it was the one,
or is he a cleaner, or what was he?
Just first day at McDonald's.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And this was before. This was when we were 16, so 12 odd years. So this was before, because now they have like set like front of thingy staff, don't they? And
Yeah,
like back, I
front
think
and
he kind of did everything. But yeah, it was the one in Gapton in Yarmouth. Someone took a shit on the floor in the toilets.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, not doing that. See you later.
Fair play to anyone that does work there, because it is hard work, man. Like,
Yeah,
me and mates did a lot of jobs backpacking, and like that was one of the hardest. They're on you constantly. So if you do work there, fair play. Like you work, you graft hard.
Yeah. Although you say they're on you, clearly weren't on the person the other day who decided to put a double cheeseburger in my triple cheeseburger wrapper. So
there you go.
I'm just saying. All you got to do is count to 3. That's it.
Jordan's coming for you. This is where the murdering spree starts.
Yeah, I kill incompetent McDonald's employees. That is I am the McKiller.
He didn't say he rang him up though.
I did.
He rang him up.
No.
Wait.
No.
Let me explain. So I just played a terrible round of golf, right? And I go to McDonald's and I just want a fucking triple cheeseburger. And I drive all the way home and I'm sat in my drive, yeah? And I open it up and it's a double. And I'm just like, not today. Not today. So I rang up and I spoke to the manager and I was like, look, I don't want, like, I'm not complaining to get free food or anything. I just want you to make you aware that whoever's doing your burgers is not paying attention, because fucking hell. And that was it pretty much. And she apologized and said she should have a word. But yeah, I just had enough.
Someone just got sacked.
Good. If you can't get out to fucking 3, you shouldn't be in McDonald's. You know what I mean? I just can't be dealing with it. I just thought, fuck me, one job.
You would have got a free cheeseburger if you did.
Yeah, she offered me a coupon. I said, look, it's not about that. I don't want it. I just, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It wasn't even a double cheeseburger wrapper. It had fucking triple written on it. Oh, I sort of fucking.
They're done, yeah.
Couldn't be dealing with it. So.
I mean, it's a pretty regular occurrence not to get the dips she ordered, but that's just what it is, isn't it?
The dips is always an issue, but I mean, come on. Yeah. Double, triple.
You gotta let them know.
Yeah. So I did. There we go.
That's it. And you just remember, when you next get your order from McDonald's and it's not right, fucking ring them up. That's what you got to do.
They'll always, whenever you complain.
They give you free food, yeah.
Well, yes. I've complained before because I saw a video once on it and you get free food, basically.
Yeah.
You don't even have to buy anything.
I once went to McDonald's for a big order there was about, I think, 8 people. And I've come back and the fucking chips were raw. They weren't even cooked.
Really?
And so I was like, what? I was like, you're serving raw chips? And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What did you get? And I just reeled off this receipt. And so they were like, oh, what's your name? And so put my name down on this list. So basically probably like a spit in this food list. And then I had like 8 meals worth of free shit for my next McDonald's trips. Cause like, everyone was like, oh, fuck it, it's only chips. But then obviously every time I went to McDonald's for like the next 8 times, just had one of those meals. But,
I'll quick one before we go, and it's a bit related to that. But I was reading some comments in one of our videos. I can't remember which one, but one of the lads did a comment, and I thought it was like such a cool idea if you wanted to do this. Basically, he was like, I can't remember what we're talking about, but I think it was about like doing, a little scam or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, me and my cousin allegedly, possibly maybe we'd go to like, say it was a Tesco's, and they'd do a full shop with all their stuff, go and buy it, get the receipt, go out, and then he would go back in with the receipt, go and get all the food again in the same shop, then go back and then go to the main counter and say, oh, I've just got all this food and paid for it, but my missus has just texted me and she's already ordered it online. Can I have a refund, please? And they'll go, yeah.
Wow.
Put the food back. How sick's that? I was like,
that's ridiculous.
I was thinking in my head, I was like,
good.
How could you?
That is flawed, but that is fucking amazing.
I mean, and it's good, isn't it? I was like,
yeah.
So I can't remember the lad's name. He made a comment if he still watches. It's an older video, and we were just talking about I think it was a traveling video. Actually, we're talking about when you like do certain things.
Yeah.
So like you change an ice bun for a nice big juicy
Yes.
bun.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
That one. He made, and I was like, oh, that's legendary. Like what
That's unreal.
If times are hard, I'm not saying do this.
I mean, Tesco aren't going to miss the profits, are they?
These are big corporations, aren't they?
Oh my god, that's so good.
Get a big 24-pack of Pepsi while you're there.
That's insane.
Clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. That would I've never even crossed my mind. That'd be
quite foolproof as well. Unless you had someone really astute and they would check the time of the receipt.
Yeah.
But what you could do, just to make this even better, is you could. So say you do it with someone else. You have the second trolley, and you're literally doing it when they do it.
Oh,
so the time is then pretty bang on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're taking them down.
That's it. Fucking hell.
Well, on that note, now we've basically told you how to defraud Tesco.
I like how we've gone from let's not go to prison to wow, this will definitely get us prison time.
Let's get you prison time.
Imagine someone does it, then they go to prison, and then they tell us about their prison experience.
Yeah, look at that.
APMA put me in prison.
It all links.
Yeah, but just for the record, don't defraud Tesco.
Yeah, please don't.
But
if you are
that is fucking genius. That is very good.
That is clever.
That is very good.
But yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for
a nice message from Liam to finish. Look, very nice. Just realised I don't care what you guys talk about. It's just all three of you chatting about anything. It's just pure gold. Keep it up, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liam.
Shout out to Liam, legend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He has submitted his video for his favourite
nice.
moments. So thanks for that, Liam. You'll be in the episode. But yeah, thanks for joining us. It's been another great episode. One that's taken some twists, some turns, as they always do.
Yeah.
Quite
that's usually me, but I get excited.
Yeah, we love them. And I'm pretty sure everyone else does. Otherwise, they wouldn't watch us. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the APMA.
Hi guys, up the APMA. See you.